Hollywood Animal is a tycoon strategy game where you're the boss of your own film studio. With a game like this, we faced a fundamental question from early development. Should we make it 2D or 3D? For most genres, the answer to this question is practically predetermined, but with strategy games, it's not so obvious. These days, 3D is more convenient, more practical, and often faster to produce, but we still lean towards 2D. We wanted Hollywood Animal to evoke fond memories of Theme Park or Railroad Tycoon 2 or Caesar 3. 2D gives the artist more control over style and atmosphere, making the game feel more intimate and handcrafted, which we felt was more important in a game where you build something up and enjoy the fruits of your labor. But there's one small problem. 2D is, well, two-dimensional, literally flat. No matter how many animations and effects you add, all the buildings and objects in a 2D game are paper cutouts glued to a cardboard canvas. In any strategy game, you spend a lot of time hovering over your domain and moving the camera back and forth. But in a 2D game, the individual images or sprites and the overall environment have zero reaction to any of this. There's no sense of perspective, no parallax movement or depth. Everything is just painted flat on the screen. Then, one of our developers suddenly remembered an old solution to this problem from a game in a totally different genre. Diablo 2, a 2D isometric game featuring the perfect depth effect. The programmers at Blizzard designed a clever system which distorts sprites so they become smaller as they move away from the camera, creating a sense of perspective. Maybe we should revisit this half-forgotten technique and try something similar. To make it all work, so each building, bench, and tree can distort correctly in perspective, we started by drawing a simple two-dimensional mesh for every sprite in the game, sometimes layers of them. We then projected the 2D sprites onto the meshes, and then finally came the painstaking, exhausting work of setting height values for every vertex in every single sprite. So here's to our artist, who did the whole thing by himself. Thanks to this approach, we feel like Hollywood Animal combines the best of 2D and 3D strategy games, and sets itself apart visually from other games in the genre. Was any of this really necessary? Of course not. But isn't that what creativity is all about? Giving yourself a weird challenge, focusing on a problem that barely existed, and then spending disproportionate amounts of resources solving it, in the faint hope that 2 or 3 really attentive players might notice and appreciate it? Maybe you don't play Hollywood Animal for its incredibly detailed movie-making system, the golden age of Hollywood atmosphere, the employee management, plus 1,000 funny stories along the way. But maybe you'll play it because the buildings become slightly distorted in perspective as you move the camera. It's something to think about.